Cool. So this is gonna be a little bit different from Devil's Advocate in the sense of like I want to see what it's like if we just talk about whatever trending topics.
Oh boy!
So we'll take one topic at a time. So this will be trending topics, and let's see. So the first one. I've got a bunch of videos queued up. I know what they are.
Oh, you know what's happening? Okay.
I know what they are.
All right, I'm averting my eyes.
So these are new to you, but these we'll start one at a time. This will be the first one, and then we'll take breaks in between.
Okay.
The first one is, I don't know how much you know about this, but it'll be this picture right here.
I see.
So
that looks like Joe Budden and it's my girl.
It's your girl.
Candy Cane Owens. What up, though?
Yes. So Joe Budden posted this because he had her on the podcast, and this kind of started a whole conversation in the sphere of like, do you give people like this even a platform? Because I think the logic was Joe Budden was going to bring her onto his show, and he was going to push back on her ideas a little bit. But the thing about Candace Owens is she's very well versed in this character that she's playing. She's hit her villain arc and she knows it very well.
Not to be trifled with.
Right. So to bring somebody like that to an audience who might be seeing her for the first time, who's heard about her and seeing her for the first time and being sat across somebody who may not be well versed in the political sphere, the prevailing logic became some people were like, well, if anything, she's just going to pull people in her orbit versus him repelling because she's not bringing him to her audience.
Right, exactly.
He's bringing her to his audience.
Exactly, yeah.
And it came out a while back that he decided not to even air the podcast. So I didn't even get a chance to look into
so wait, the episode didn't come out?
No, they posted, this was like a couple days ago.
Okay.
They posted this to say they're going to shoot it together. They shot it, and now he's saying he's not coming out.
No, because people was like, yo, son. Somebody was like, "Hey son, son.
Yeah.
Let me pull your collar to this real quick, yo." I feel like somebody watched the video and was like, "My guy, you don't want nobody's."
Yeah, this ain't it.
this ain't the move, son. You don't want this.
Right.
You don't want this smoke.
Yeah. Because again, the reason I brought that up is, do you feel like someone like Candace Owens or people who subscribe to this kind of new wave conservatism or new wave Republicans, do you feel like this is something that people should take serious, or do you think that this is just a grift? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, that is it's really interesting. I think initially I have several, but first and foremost, I think that's wise. Joe Budden, wise on the move, pull that back. Because she is somebody who, I think you put it so well, can articulate her views regardless of one's take on what her views are. You can't deny the fact that she can articulate them effectively and persuasively.
Yes.
And especially if you're not somebody who has spent any kind of time understanding maybe a broader scope of what some of these issues are, she can sound very compelling and make a case for like, maybe, goodness, you're right.
Yeah.
Maybe black people are deep inside meant to be more Republican than I realized. My God. Yeah. It's one of those. And so it is, and it's very, you said it so well, I think also a character.
Yeah.
She's paid very well to promote and to play and to never deviate from. And I think she's just so in the pocket of it.
Yeah.
So that being said, I think when you speak about not just her, but folks who share those views, especially black folks, because they're so few and far between and so cherished when they do pop up.
Yeah.
There was another one, actually, a guy who is in I think it's a Senate race, but he's just wildly conservative. It's a big, like I saw a video of him preaching, and he was preaching against how trans folks are the devil and something.
Here's something else I'm not supposed to say. Ain't but two genders. Two genders. Ain't nothing but men and women. The transgender movement in this country, if there's a movement in this country that is demonic and that is full of the spirit of Antichrist, it is the transgender movement.
So I take several steps back about it.
Okay.
The political system as it exists, our duopoly, our Democrat, Republican, left, right, ultimately I think the discourse keeps us from paying attention to real problems and actually being able to effectively try to solve real problems.
Right.
And so giving people a platform to discuss what essentially is more of the same things when it comes to foreign and domestic policy, when it comes to what actually giving people the services that they actually need.
Yeah.
It's like we're continuously still diverting from what the actual needs are, and we're in the realm of kind of political theater, basically.
Well, yes, and I feel like also like not just that, but with Candace Owens specifically, I mean, there are other people who are starting to pop up. There are other people who are realizing that this is the new wave as far as like being able to be a shield or a mouthpiece for the Conservative Party gives them like a... Ironically, this is some kind of affirmative action that the thing that they buck heads against so much is because they're black that they're being pushed to the front of the line. Candace Owens is not saying anything unique or special or even that smart. She's saying the same things. It's the same tired script that they all say, but because she's black, she's being pushed in the forefront because it's like, hey, I can't be racist. Look at this. These points can't be back. They're coming out of this person's mouth. So it's ironic that the same things that she like rails against are kind of serving her. I've always said this, that I even tweeted this. I didn't get that much love on Twitter, which is fine, but I believe that Candace Owens is the Jesse Owens of white supremacy. That is something I will leave that up because it will come to light because you'll see that she's integrated them. And I'm like, that's interesting that she's now being such a pillar of that thing. Because
that's her great uncle.
Yeah.
You didn't know that. But,
I did not know that.
I've done a deep dive into their family tree. It's a little known fact.
Oh, you're saying that's legit her great uncle?
Yeah.
Man, that tweet hits even harder now. Visionary. But that to say, there's her, there's Tim Scott, there's Clarence Thomas, there's all these people popping up who are now, you're like, oh, they're kind of doing black on black crime, right? They're turning black excellence against black people. And it's like, and they're starting to convince other people who maybe have felt ostracized by the black community that this is the thing.
They're taking the idea because white supremacy obviously isn't limited. Well, not obviously to some. It's not limited to just white people because it is so insidious and because it is so prevalent and around us in so many ways. There are black folks who can actively perpetuate white supremacy and actively do. You named a few. Clarence Thomas. He's defending this, I guess, former staffer who got. There were text messages. She was in this group chat, literally saying, "I hate black people." It's like, whoa. just put it in clear. And he's like, "Hold on, no. She's good. She's with me."
Yeah.
And I think any space that we provide for. If you're going to give a platform, if you're going to create space, like if Candace Owens Pop is going to sit here and we're going to give her a chance to say anything, there needs to be, you need to take the time to compellingly be able to dismantle what it is that she's providing. Yeah. If you're saying that, if we're saying that, and I think we are saying that, it's deeper than just having the right to say what you want when you're acting lock in step with these institutions that are harming people, that are actively working against the interests of people. It's not just a matter of, well, I get to speak my mind. It's like, no, people are harmed and affected by that. Right. And I can only imagine that that's part of what kept Joe Budden from being like, maybe I don't. Because aside from just rhetoric, of course, we know isn't just rhetoric when it actually affects policies that get passed, policies that don't get passed, things that get funded, things that don't get funded. And it's very much rooted in the ideas that we have about the people that this thing is supposed to be serving. Right. And so it's not just a matter of, well, let's just let everybody have their opinion. There are such things as like being really wrong. Right. And that's when it comes to being in I think in opposition to, again, what serves both the underserved communities, be they black, brown, indigenous, however, and just what most people, if you take the temperature on most issues, what most people actually want in the country. And I think whether it be her or any other Republican, it's also Democrat as well, but much more Republican, that they're contrary to things that most people actually want.
Right. And there's something, there's the argument that says that, like, you want to be able to engage with people like that, but the problem with engaging with people specifically like that is they're not coming in good faith.
Right.
They're not coming to the table to actually have an exchange of ideas. This is, like you're saying, it is about rhetoric. It is about me espousing these things that I don't care whether or not they are being put through in legislation, they are affecting a larger, broad people. We're not coming to this table equally. We're not coming here to say, like, I just really want to get to know your point. You're really trying to just maintain this identity and hold on to this thing. And I think that is a problem. And that's why I think that conversation was not working. Yeah.
I can just see it when she's going on about the history of black people voting and the way that the Democrats did this and that, and Joe Biden's like, word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I for sure. Yeah.
Or her even just saying statistics that are just like those statistics you are not honestly looking at them. And when you try to pull this, when they start saying things like black on black crimes
and all of these things, exactly.
Shut up. It's like
absolutely.
The thing about Clarence Thomas does remind me of a funny sketch I want to do called Coon's Court. And what happens is whenever somebody, a white person or any other person who's not black, gets in trouble for something they did, they say they have the black friend. The black friend has to come to court and defend them. And like be like there to be like, but Your Honor, you don't understand. And then I want them to hear all the allegations against them and watch them try to defend this thing, because sometimes it's like I feel like people are like, they say something racist and they say like, well, I have a black friend or I have whatever, but we never get to see that.
You never get to see the person.
Because I also want that person to explain. Did you know they said this?
No, it's Black Friends Court. Yeah, for sure.
Token tribunal. So many.
Exactly.
All right, so Joe, well, I'm gonna do more research to figure out why exactly, but that's the stance on that, and we'll take on the next topic.
Word.
So that's this one for now. That's how we feel about Candace Owens and Joe Budden.